The invention of the car wasn't enough. The world had to be rebuilt around it. Put the best car in the middle of a forest, and you can probably already see the problem. With no roads, no fuel, and no way to repair it, suddenly it's almost useless. Because the most important part of a car isn't actually part of the car. And today, the entire auto industry is caught between two different versions of that same idea. The forest isn't the problem. It's everything that's missing. Roads, fuel stations, mechanics, spare parts. They're so familiar that we barely notice them. But together, they're what make a car useful. And this isn't unique to cars. Horses relied on feed, water, stables, and blacksmiths. Gas cars rely on roads, refineries, fuel stations, and repair networks. Electric cars rely on batteries, charging, the power grid, and an entirely different supply chain. Every way we've ever traveled has depended on a system built around it. So maybe we've been asking the wrong question. And if you're thinking, well, obviously a car needs roads, you're right. But roads are only the beginning. It isn't just which car is better, it's which system is becoming more useful. And that's where this story begins. So why would car companies abandon a system that already worked for one that barely existed? Because at first, there wasn't much of a system to switch to. Early electric cars had expensive batteries, limited charging, and very little demand. Meanwhile, gasoline cars already had everything: proven technology, fuel stations, repair networks, and an industry that knew exactly how to build, sell, and service them. From the outside, it can look like car companies simply missed the future. But from the inside, they were investing in the system that was already working. The gasoline system had been improving for over a century, and it was mature. The electric system was much earlier. Batteries, charging, and manufacturing still had enormous room to improve. And eventually, that changing system became impossible to ignore. Then, something changed. Batteries improved. Charging networks expanded. Manufacturing became more efficient. And as the system improved, more people became willing to buy an electric car. Suddenly, ignoring EVs was no longer an option. So, car companies had to build them. But every electric car they sold relied on a system that was still growing, while every gasoline car they sold relied on a system they had spent more than a century perfecting. They weren't choosing between two cars, they were choosing between two transportation systems. And that's when their greatest strength became their biggest challenge. Economists have a name for this: the innovator's dilemma. The same gasoline system that made these companies successful is now funding the system that could eventually replace it. Their factories were built for gas cars. Their dealerships and suppliers were built around gas cars. Their expertise was built around improving gas cars. None of that became worthless overnight, but every step toward an electric future makes those strengths a little less valuable. They're trying to build tomorrow using yesterday's business. And that's why one question still dominates almost every conversation about electric cars: range anxiety. It sounds like a battery problem, but it's really just a trust problem. You're not asking, can this car get me there? Think about what you're really worried about when that battery gets low. You're asking, will there be a charger when I arrive? Will it work? And can I trust the system around this car? Because that's what every transportation revolution has really been about. Not building a better vehicle, but building a better system. The vehicle gets the attention. The system determines whether it succeeds. And that's why the most important part of the car isn't the car. It's everything that makes the car useful. So, maybe we've been looking at this transition the wrong way. It isn't just a competition between gas cars and electric cars. It's a competition between two transportation systems. People don't adopt a new way of getting around simply because a new vehicle exists. They adopt it when the system around it becomes useful enough to trust. And once that happens, the old system doesn't disappear because it stopped working. It disappears because something else became easier to live with. Which means the most important part of the car was never the car. It was always the system that made the car useful. Okay, so this isn't the first time a successful business became trapped by the system that made it successful. Blockbuster didn't ignore Netflix. It actually faced the exact same dilemma. See for yourself with this video right here.